episode, It Came From the Depths, is a Ninja Turtle episode that is about Leatherhead. If you don't know, he's the alligator friend or foe of the Ninja Turtles. He first was a villain in the 80s show, but then the 2003 show kind of went for the Mirage comics. And this show, he's a good guy, even though he can be viewed as a villain. So this episode's about a strange creature breaking out of a Krang lab, and we get these cool purple-black versions of the Krang droids. We never really see these versions of the Krang again, actually. And then the creature escapes in the sewer, and meanwhile the turtles are just relaxing, and then Mikey makes like a pizza shake or something, and he calls it a pea shake, and the turtles just think it's gross, of course. But then later they get alerts from the Krang, and then they investigate, and they find a wild alligator mutant, which is revealed to be Leatherhead, and he's destroying Krang droids, and then eventually the Krang, I think, pass it out, and then the turtles don't want to bring it back except for Mikey. Mikey wants to bring it back because he's got a good heart. And so, in an attempt to bring him back, the turtles decide, let's just bring him back. But then later, as they get back to the lair, Leatherhead goes crazy and then attacks the turtles until they try to calm him down, and they end up chaining him up. And so, then later the turtles want to investigate what's going on with Krang, and then Mikey stays home just to take care of Leatherhead. They even show Splinter, and they even call him Leatherhead ugly, even after they attack. He attacks them later, and Splinter tries to say, like, you gotta show compassion, but then he's just like, nah, never mind. And random change of pace for Splinter, I guess. And Mikey decides to feed Leatherhead, and we see there's a softer side to Leatherhead. He's more calm, nice, gentle. But if you say his trigger word, Krang, he goes berserk, and that's kind of what made this version of Leatherhead so iconic. He even has like a giant scar on his chest, I'm pretty sure. Like, the way Leatherhead's design is pretty cool. Like, he's just straight up like an alligator monster type. Even Mikey accidentally called him monster, even though the turtles call him a monster. And apparently Leatherhead's origin is that he was a pet alligator, but the owner's parents didn't like him, and so they flushed him down the toilet, and then the Krang found him and tortured him and turned him into an alligator mutant. And so, even when Mikey unchains Leatherhead, when he seems happy at first, but then when they bring up the Krang, he attacks them, and he even grabs Donnie by the face, which becomes like a running joke in this episode. And after he goes berserk again, he brings up the power cell. When the turtles, meanwhile, were looking for a power cell, and they almost get killed. It was kind of cool seeing them swim underwater, which was neat, I guess. And Raph almost gets his head chopped off by a stop sign, but thank God he put his head in his shell. And we even see a fight with Splinter and Leatherhead. It was a cool fight, I guess, but it kind of just ends quickly. And then Leatherhead runs away, and then Mikey goes after him, and then the turtles follow, and then basically Leatherhead calms down, and he explains his origin, and he actually shows that he doesn't mean any harm. And so then later the Krang show up, and there's a little battle, and then we get this cool scene where the turtles use the power cell to go straight into New York, and when they open the subway car they're in, they're just like, I always thought they were like in some like brown like city. I was wondering if they were in like another dimension, but no, they're still in New York. And later this subway would be used as the Shell Razor later in the show. And the Leatherhead takes down a few Krang droids, and then the episode ends. So this episode's really good. It's just like it's showing the softer side of Mikey, the more compassionate side, since most of the Turtles view him as a goofball. And I like Letterhead. I think he's an interesting character. I love the design, like I said. And Letterhead becomes more of an ally as the show goes on. He becomes one of the members of the Mighty Mutanimals later in the show. And so, yeah, this episode is actually one of the better episodes. It doesn't have that many characters, since it was more focused on one of the characters. So, I'd give this episode, why not 9 out of 10? So, tell me, have you seen It Came from the Depths of Ninja Turtles? Do you have any good memories of Letterhead as a character from Ninja Turtles? He's in a lot of toys, and he's appeared in most of the shows. So with that said, thanks for watching, and Turtle Power!